Okay, so Heaven's Anthem is the title track of this EP. It's a song that's based really from verses and chapters and imagery in the book of Revelation in the Bible. The book of Revelation, it paints this incredible picture of worship at the throne room in heaven, and it's really the imagery of that which captured my attention initially when I was reading that over the past few months. And I thought, how cool would it be to write a song based on some of those passages? Yeah. And I think in this lockdown season, pandemic, past year and a half, it's been crazy. So much going on, a really, really crazy time. There's kind of been two ways I think we could have approached it. We could either look back at a time where this pandemic wasn't a part of our lives and we were kind of like wishing we were back 3 years ago or 2 years ago or however long, at a moment in time that we picture as really carefree or nostalgic or just somewhere that we want it to be. But the other option we have is to look forward and to look forward into eternity. And actually the fact that this moment or this earth, we're just here for a moment, but we're going to be in eternity forever.
And that's what Revelation does. It paints that picture.
Yes, exactly.
Like that's the stability throughout this pandemic that we know what eternity will look like.
Where we'll be for the rest of our lives. And I think there's this line in it that says, heaven is our home, we're citizens. And
I like that.
Yeah, throughout this whole season, there's been this kind of shaking of so many things. Shaking of, well, where do we belong? Where's home? Things that we've put our hope in that have maybe crumbled away or been taken away from us in this pandemic. But actually, Philippians 3 verse 20 says, we are citizens of heaven. That's where we belong. So a big part of this song, Heaven's Anthem, is about that.
Love it.
Zoe.
Yeah.
You were part of this songwriting process.
Yes, I was.
How did that go? I remember I was working on this song and I sent it to you and there was a big gap where the bridge should be.
Yep. 4 bars of silence.
I was completely stuck. So I was like, hey, Zoe, check this out. Have you got any ideas? Read Revelation. Bye.
Yeah, read Revelation.
Yeah, that was basically it.
That was all I had to work on. But all I needed, actually, which is really weird to say.
How did it go?
Yeah, I started off by reading Revelations, just like you asked me to. And I love that imagery that you spoke of earlier, like that throne room and that eternal throne and like looking at God, and it just speaks of like our purpose as like, children of God. And like it's such a beautiful image. And I just kind of like was stuck on this line from Revelations 4:11, and it was, I'm paraphrasing it, but it's basically about how it's to do with our chorus as well. So I'm supposed to be writing the bridge, right? And you know how like bridges, they go on and on and on sometimes.
Never-ending loop.
Yeah, in worship songs,
cycle.
especially when it's congregational, and it's wonderful. I love that. But at that point, I hadn't got that idea yet. I just thought, why am I stuck on this line? And
so what was the line?
Yeah, what was it?
Tell us the line.
Building suspense, Let me just get it out. Basically, it's the who was and is to come, and it's like that imagery of like eternity.
Yeah.
And like he was there, he is here, and he will be there. Yeah. So he's everywhere and all the time. Yeah. And it's just so comforting to know that like we're never alone and we'll always be worshiping God. It's a beautiful imagery. Yeah.
Really, really good. And then so after we'd worked on the lyrics and the melody, then Fran, it was your job to step in. Yep. So I remember we sent you this track, and obviously you worked on producing this.
So what's a producer? Just for those of us who like aren't super like know all the things.
Yeah, I mean, layman terms, just putting things together.
Okay.
But for us, it's kind of like having an overview. But you guys are the songwriters, so usually it helps to have a producer to give an overview of the whole song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and arranging things, making it sound a certain way, all of that kind of stuff.
Very important.
Yeah. So this song in particular, producing it, what were you thinking about in that creative process?
This time, like it was so difficult for us to actually work on songs together. As you know, it's like we had to do this. Yeah. We couldn't have that luxury to be together and stuff. So you have that sense of loneliness. It was really feeling that loneliness. And what you just said, like I really felt the whole process that God just said that, just remind us we're not alone. He's there with us. then that made me feel that, like this is possible. Like we talked about this EP like many years ago, right?
Yeah.
To see it come to life like now after how many 7 years,
yeah.
is really quite,
At a time where it looked like this shouldn't happen.
The hardest time
The
to do
hardest
it.
time to
Like-
do it. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Not 7 more before the next one.
No, not 7 more.
So that was in your mind as you were producing. Steve, we then sent to you backwards and forwards on WeTransfer emails again. We weren't able to meet up, but you worked on the guitar parts for this song.
Yep.
How did that take shape, and speak a bit into like the vibe you went for and basically that process for you?
Stress-free. in the beginning, like, how are we gonna do this? Like we've never done this ever. We've never done this, except touch up some parts or whatever. Of course, we can't pretend that last year we didn't have any lockdown. Also, we did online stuff, but mainly it's just to like touch up parts here and there. So this was like an EP, everything, and like, oh, Steve, 4 tracks, guitar. This, that. I'm like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're gonna meet each other, and just going back to what friends say, I think that process, similar process to the producer side as well. This feels a bit daunting at the time, right? And then what happens is, I think later on we had a chance to come back to studio, which was fantastic.
Yeah,
just to
a
feel
little
that
break in the
correct,
SOPs.
just to come in, even though it's really rushed, but it was so good to have everyone in the room to feed off each other's energy and vibe and feedback. Yeah, it was fantastic.
And then I remember it was like, then we're like, oh yeah, this is like a corporate worship song.
Yeah.
It felt there was multiple people involved. It was like brought back that corporate feeling.
Correct. Yeah. So back to the vibe of the song. When the gang, right, this gang, when they sent the song in, immediately, the song is in 4/4, so it's a steady 4/4 beat groove to it. Immediately, I was like, this still wants this effect called taka taka.
Very technical term.
Very technical. You can
term,
see
guys.
how serious we are,
Hey,
but
Steve,
yeah.
can you just do some taka takas?
Taka taka.
Yeah.
But what it is just dotted 8s. Imagine
You think I could remember that, right?
I don't think you can remember. So it's taka taka. But anyway, so I hear a lot of that, all right? So definitely that will be part of the song. But also how I thought, obviously, I wasn't sure if I knew the song title was Heaven's Anthem back then. But I just got the song file, and I'm like, I really could see like, big sounds, big like sort of like atmospheric sounds, big sort of tone. And I'm like, that's what I will aim for. Yeah.
And there's kind of a retro vibe to this song as well. Sort of got a little bit of like...
Zoe can't relate to the 80s.
It's 80s vibe.
What retro
Sorry.
is.
Yeah,
Hey,
she's
80s
too young.
music is
80s
great.
vibe.
Okay,
She's
I
not
also
born yet.
know. I know
yet.
80s music.
not born since.
Not born.
We were.
All right,
Some of us
boomers.
were.
So, boomers. Okay, anyway, so it's got a bit of that retro flavor to it. So some of the electric tones, it's kind of like that chorus effect, high lead lines. Some of the synth stuff is like bells and harsh synths and stuff. So it's got quite a. You guys did such a good job on that vibe. It feels cool, that retro thing as well. You saw this song at many different stages. What do you like about it? What stands out to you about Heaven's
Well, I
Anthem?
think it's just that corporate thing, right? It's like the work. You just want to be in the room and you just want to be like singing it with the rest of the congregation. There's a lyric in it that says, "Listen to the sound as earth rejoiced, echoing a million angel voices."
Yeah.
Is that in the Bible?
Yeah.
Where is it? Because I don't think I ever like thought of that before. Like a million, like
Yeah.
a million angels.
So in Revelation 5, I think it's verse 11, it says that I looked and I heard the voice of angels numbering thousands upon thousands and 10,000 times 10,000. And I'd actually, when I was writing it, I'd never noticed that verse before. And I just thought, like I actually got my calculator out and did the maths. I'm not gonna lie. It's more than a million actually.
Is
Million
it?
was poetic license. It's
Okay.
more than that.
I'm just fact checking you
Maths
here.
is not my strong point. So I just thought, that's incredible. Like millions and millions of angels singing God's praises in heaven.
It's a
And
good
when
picture.
we worship on earth, we're joining with that.
Love it.
Unbelievable.
Well, we've been in suspense long enough.
Should
Can
we listen
hear
to it?
Yeah.
Let's listen to a clip of Heaven's Anthem.
Yeah.
Unto the Lamb